Really the focus of these talks that are going to be going on tomorrow in Paris is about security guarantees. That is what Europe, Canada, other countries can do to ensure ongoing security should there be some kind of peace agreement reached between Russia and Ukraine in the future. The Ukrainians very concerned that they might get a sort of temporary ceasefire, a cessation of hostilities, but the Russians will ultimately come back and try to invade Russia again. So the idea is because Ukraine is not a member of the NATO alliance, they need some kind of protection that potentially a European and possibly with Canadian involvement force could provide. Does that mean actual Canadian forces being deployed on the ground, boots on the ground in Ukraine? Well, we don't know. This is still conversation that is going on, is a live conversation. So this is going to be really the main focus of these talks. Also talks about the possible return of children who were kidnapped from Ukraine by Russian forces, bringing them back to their families in Ukraine. Also, that's been a big priority for Canada, something that Canadian officials bring up at every opportunity. But Carney is headed there for this meeting on Ukraine at a time that today Volodymyr Zelenskyy announced that he is essentially hiring Carney's friend and former cabinet colleague and leadership challenger, Chrystia Freeland. She is going to take on a role as an economic advisor to Ukraine. But here's the complication that is very strange. She's no longer a member of the cabinet. She resigned her position as Minister of Transport back in September, but was appointed immediately as a Canadian advisor on Ukraine. And she continues to sit as a member of Parliament in the Liberal caucus. She says she's not going to run in the next election, but we have not heard any plans that she intends to step down before then, and the next election could be months or years away from now. So she may have this dual role of advising the government of Ukraine at the same time she's advising our Prime Minister on Ukraine. On its face, it seems impossible that this could happen without creating massive conflicts of interest. We'll watch later today, Karen, to see what the response is from the Prime Minister's office, whether they put out any kind of statement clarifying her role as an advisor to Canada on a country that she is very close to. She has Ukrainian roots, owned an apartment there until not that long ago in Kyiv, speaks Ukrainian obviously fluently, also speaks some Russian too. So she's well positioned to take on this role with Volodymyr Zelenskyy, except for the fact that she's serving a similar role to Mark Carney, and we don't really understand, Karen, how those two things can coexist at the same time.